I'm trying to see if I still even like romance as a genre. Like, I want dragons, I want there to be banter, I want there to be real enemies to lovers, I want there to be like magic or something, or like a plot, but I don't know if it's gonna be annoying. I'm worried that it's gonna be like a third act breakup and it's gonna be annoying, then they're gonna get back together in like 5 pages. I want to be in the mood for romance.
Cool. Yeah, some of those will be nice.
I have a little bit of a cold, so I made some tea, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a novel love story because I'm about 100 pages in, I believe. Yes, 102 pages in. I'm on chapter 11. So far, this is actually kind of hot. I need to move it. So we're following Elsie, who is kind of going through some things in her life, like relationship-wise, just personal things. Like, she's watching her best friend kind of move on in life, not without her necessarily, but definitely at like a different pace than Elsie is currently. Her and her best friend are part of a book club, and every year they have this like kind of annual trip or retreat, if you will, where they all go to a cabin in New York and read books and just talk about them, and specifically romance books. This year, no one is able to go, not even her best friend, and Elsie decides that she's just gonna go anyways, and it's raining, she can't see where she's going, but she ends up in this small town, and she actually almost runs someone over because she can't see and it's raining, and then he's just like standing in the middle of the crosswalk. So she immediately meets someone off on the wrong foot, and she slowly realizes that the town that she has stumbled upon is the exact same town from her favorite romance series. Isn't that such an interesting... I'm gonna stop quoting the book, but isn't that such an interesting plot? Like, I want to do that. I want that to happen to me. Like, I feel like everyone would. I don't really like tea, but like, I need it right now. So she's in this town that she has read about. She knows all about the town. She knows all about the people in the town. And she meets someone named Anders who she does not recognize or can't remember if he's in the books or not. And she's like, I know all the characters. I would know if you're in the book. And he happens to be the only guy and only person that knows that they are in a story book town. No one else knows they're from a book. He's the only one. And then also you're getting kind of like past timelines in a way, like not exactly like each chapter is a different timeline. It's all in the current timeline, but Elsie keeps like reflecting on her past, so you'll get like full chapters of her and her best friend of like when they started the book club. You get other chapters from Elsie's past. You kind of figure out what happened in her past relationship and like what's kind of been going on in her life. And then you're also getting like the present of her being like, what the heck, why am I in this town? Like, how do I get out? Or do I want to get out? Do I want to leave? I'm kind of loving it here. Like, everything's perfect and magical and happy. And also her car is like broken down, so she technically can't actually leave anyway. So she's kind of just like, well, I can't leave, so I might as well just enjoy the town while I'm here. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. She's just kind of decided to enjoy her time for the weekend. She's probably going to end up staying longer. I'm sure she's going to fall in love or something's going to happen. But I'm interested. I was hesitant to read another Ashley Poston book because I wasn't the biggest fan of the Dead Romantics. I didn't really like the writing. I didn't really like the plot. I don't know. Like, it was fine enough. I was entertained by it and I ended up finishing it, and I believe I gave it 3 or 4 stars. Like, it was good, but I just, like, from the hype that I had seen about it, I didn't feel like it lived up to the hype to me. So I wasn't sure how I'd feel about another love story, but so far I'm liking it. I will say I haven't read just a romance in a very long time, so at first I was like, ooh, not sure if I like the writing, not sure if I like the vibes of it. But now that I'm further into the story, I do think I do like it, and I am more used to the writing now. I don't think it's just Ashley Poston. I think it's because I haven't read a romance in a while, and this is just how it is. And like the writing sometimes a little bit cheesy, makes me cringe sometimes with just like the words she says and like trying to like relate to younger audiences or like the current times. Like, she literally mentioned a vape pen, and I was just like, ugh. Kind of just takes me right out of the story. So that could be something that could bother me reoccurringly throughout this book. I guess we'll just wait and see, but I like it so far and I'm interested in it, so that's a good sign. So I'm gonna keep reading. I think I'm about 75% into the book now. Also, my voice is slowly going away. Sorry about that. We're just gonna have to keep pushing through. Sorry if it's annoying. As I was saying, I'm 75%-ish. I'm just guessing, eyeballing that. So far, I am enjoying it. There has been times where I felt like cringed out a little bit, but I'm just trying to like push through and ignore that. I think like more of like the mystery aspect of like not knowing who Anders is supposed to be in like this series, I guess, like the book series. He's not like a known character that like Elsie knows, because she's read all the books. She would know who Anders was if he was in the series. So I feel like that, and along with the fact of like how is she even in this town to begin with, is like keeping me reading, keeping me wondering, and keeping me like entertained to see this out through the end. But other than that, I don't really feel like a connection with this book. I don't really care about the romance. It's cute and it's like fine to read, but it's nothing I'm like giggling over or really obsessed with. I will say that so far I do like this better than the Dead Romantics, but I'm not sure how the ending will make me feel. So I think I'm going to try to finish this tonight and then give you my final thoughts tomorrow. It is time to talk about a novel love story. As you saw, I did finish this book. I am going to save my ratings till the end, but I will tell you a little bit about my thoughts about this book. I did enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would, but I honestly think I enjoyed it like in spite of the romance. Like, I did not care about the romance in this book at all. I didn't feel like it was like really flushed out, and I did not care about it basically. So I don't know if this is a good indicator if I still like romance or not, because I liked the plot of this. I liked like the little mystery of it, of like wondering and figuring out why the town was there, who Anders was, what was going to end up happening, what the ending was going to be. I liked all of that. I also loved all of like the bookish quotes in this book. She talks a lot about reading and books and like how they change your life. You've seen some of the quotes by now, but I did enjoy that part of this book as well. So again, I don't know if that has like a big part in like why I liked this book, but it wasn't like a life-changing read. I don't know if like me and Ashley Poston still get along, but I did end up liking it, just not like a 5-star or anything like that. I would say like don't read this book for the romance, because it's barely even there, and then it's like so back and forth, so unnecessary in my opinion. I also felt like this with the Dead Romantics. I was like, I wish they would have just been friends. Like, I don't get why we're like forcing a romance at this point. It just felt too forced to me, and like I said, I think I would like it better without it. Like, I don't think it needed it. I don't know if that's like a recurring thing with me in Ashley Poston, because I did feel like that in that Dead Romantics. I don't know. But I do think like the concepts of her books are interesting. They just don't like stick out as like a romance to me, and I don't care about the romances. So I don't know, but at least we finished this book, and now we're gonna move on and see if I can read another romance. While I was laying here, you saw that I did try to start Love on the Brain, and unfortunately, I can't even get past the first chapter. I'm on page 2, and I can't read it for some reason. I don't know if it's just the writing or if it's just like I'm not in the mood for this right now, but I'm not going to force myself to keep reading it because I know it'll put me into a book slump. So we're going to put her over there for now. She's done. She's had her moment. Maybe she'll come back later. Maybe she won't. I'm now going to try to move on to Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I apparently have started this in the past, and I didn't get past chapter 1 either, because there's a bookmark in here on chapter 2, and I don't even recall ever starting this book, so far that's not a good sign. But I'm trying to see if I still even like romance as a genre, and I do love all of Emily Henry's other books. I've read Happy Place, People We Meet on Vacation, and Beach Read. I love all those books. They're good reads for me. I love Emily Henry. I love her writing. And this is about 2 book lovers, so I feel like I would love this book. So I'm going to try it, and then if I can't get into it today, I might just read fantasy on my Kindle and come back to this video another day. I don't know, but like while I'm sick, like I need something to like keep me reading, and I don't want to get into a book slump. So we're gonna give it one more try today and see. A little update, I am 70 pages into Book Lovers, so we're already off to a better start than we were with Love on the Brain. I couldn't even get past page 2. This one we're on page 70, so like I said, a better start. I just feel like it hooked me a little bit more, and the writing was a little bit easier to follow. This feels effortless, and so far I'm liking it. Basically, all I know is that there is Nora, our main character, our protagonist, who works in the publishing industry, and she and her sister both live in New York, and her sister desperately needs a vacation. She is pregnant, she has 2 children, she just needs this vacation, and her and Nora decide to go to this small town in North Carolina, I believe, where this romance book that Nora had pushed out and like made pretty much made like the book big is set, and Libby, Nora's sister, read the book, loves it, and so they decide to go visit this town that's based off of the book. And while they're there, Nora sees her like kind of workplace nemesis or whatever in a way just get off on the wrong foot, and coincidentally now he is in the town of the book that he said he hated, and he doesn't know she's there. Like she's trying not to like run into him, so that's where I'm at right now. Seems interesting so far. I like the small town vibes. I love the sister vibes between Nora and Libby. I would give you an update, but there isn't really one. I'm still on chapter 5. I'm still in the middle of chapter 5. Never end in the middle of a chapter. It's never a good idea, but for some reason I did, and I haven't gone back yet. I just have not had the desire, and like it's not even like the desire. Like I have not wanted to pick up this book. Like I've had plenty of opportunities where I'm just like laying in bed and I'm literally thinking, ugh, I don't want to read right now, which is so unfortunate. And I don't think it's like the book. Like I am enjoying it, or I was enjoying it when I was reading it. I just think I might be in a book slump. I don't know. Like I want dragons, I want there to be banter, I want there to be real enemies to lovers, I want there to be like magic or something, or like a plot better than just like nothing. I don't know if that made any sense. But today is Tuesday and Valentine's Day is on Friday. So like I want to be in the romance mood. I want to be in the lovey-dovey, happy sunshine mood. So I'm going to try to read this later when I get back from work. I'm about to leave, so that's why I'm not reading it now. And see if I can just get through it, or I might put it down and start something else. I don't know. Like I feel like I'm kind of forcing myself to read romance, which is like never good. That never works out good when you force yourself to read something. But also like I want to read romance. Does that make sense? I want to be in the mood for romance. I might continue it tonight. We'll see. But just thought I'd give you that little update on how I'm feeling. So you know how the other day I was saying I'm not really feeling this book, I wasn't really in the mood to read, I felt like there wasn't a lot going on? Well, I take that back now because I'm actually loving this book. I'm giggling, I'm loving the banter. It's like almost, sometimes it's like almost too much banter, and like I love Emily Henry, I love her banter, but at some points like I watch them or I read their conversations and I'm like sometimes it just takes me out of reality for a little bit, because I'm like, what? Like, do people actually talk like that? And if you do, I'm jealous of you, because like if you can just put out funny banter like that, I'm jealous, because I can't and I wish I could, but I love reading about it. But like I said, it kind of takes me out of reality just a little bit, because I'm like, is that real? I don't know. I know it's not real, clearly, but did that make sense? I don't know. Anyways, it's getting pretty good because we discovered that, I forgot his name, Charlie is like rooted in the town where that romance novel is placed in, like I was telling you guys about earlier. And so he's there, and now they're about to like work together because of this book that he's going to be editing, and she's like a part of the publishing part. I don't know, don't ask me the specifics of how the publishing industry works, I don't know. But they're somehow both going to be working on the same book, and they're kind of still like rivals a little bit, but like something happened now, so they're like kind of not rivals, but they're still kind of rivals. I don't know, but I'm here for it. I'm liking it a lot, and I honestly like kind of want to finish it today, even though I have so much, and the first like 20% maybe took me days, and I'm like, yeah, let me just finish this today. I don't know, but tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so I do want to finish this today, that way I can pick up a specific book for tomorrow and like share that with you guys, because I think I'll generally really love that book. Me with romance, it's just hit or miss lately. I don't know what it is. I get bored, I get uninterested. Emily Henry is an author that I know I love, so I feel like, I don't know, I knew going into this book that I'd probably like it. Okay, I'm going to keep reading because I want to. I'm happy that I'm in the mood to read. First and foremost, happy Valentine's Day. It is no longer Valentine's Day by the time you're watching this, but happy belated Valentine's Day. I hope you had a great day. But it is Valentine's Day for me, and I just finished Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I'm about to start my next romance book, but I wanted to talk about this before I jump into that book. This book actually I always say that. It's annoying. As you saw, my journey with this book was a little bit unconventional. At first, I wasn't immediately hooked to it, but I really didn't give it a chance. I literally read like 20% and then took a break for like 4 days and then came back to it and finished it in like 2 sittings. So I don't really think like I was in the right mindset for this book when I started it, and I think that's what had to do with like me putting it down for a while. But I'm glad that I finally got back into it and ended up finishing it because I really enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna land on, actually I don't know why I'm gonna land on it yet. I need to think a little bit longer. I literally just finished it 20 minutes ago. So this wasn't exactly a 5-star, I do know that, because I just feel like I'm not going to be like obsessing over it, thinking about it every single day, but I did really enjoy it, and I think it will be one I'll want to like reread and have in my collection forever. I love Emily Henry. She just has such a way of writing such real characters that go through like real situations. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but sometimes when you read a romance, it just seems so like fictional, I guess is the only way I could describe it, and like their problems are so like amplified to be something bigger than it really needs to be, or like they can't communicate or just something like that. There's literally a time in this book I sat back and was like, if this was any other romance book, this small little conflict would have been like the whole 3rd act breakup, and they would have been like miscommunicating, all this stuff. And I just love how Emily Henry doesn't do that. Also, I don't believe I've ever read a book where 2 main characters are so similar and like they work, because they're literally like the exact same person, copy and pasted almost, and they just get each other so much, and they're perfect for each other. I don't know if I've read a book either where like the 2 main characters are literally perfect for each other, like almost made for each other in a way. It feels like they just get each other, and I love when couples do that in books and understand each other. I loved all of the bookish themes and the fact that they work in the book industry and their love for books. Also, like the sibling love in this book as well, with between Nora and her sister Libby, was really nice to read about. I loved that as well. Also, there's like heavier themes of grief and just like them finding themselves, figuring out what they love, and like figuring out how to move on from something as well. I felt like Nora as a character is someone that I can personally relate to, which made it more enjoyable to read, but also sometimes I was like, oh, because multiple times throughout this book I was like, this girl needs therapy, and then I was like, well, what does that say about me? I don't know. But I do think Emily Henry does such a good way of like I said, making her character seem so real and having like real problems that are relatable to certain people, especially me in this case with Nora. And I love the character growth and just everything. I loved everything, I guess. But again, I don't think it's going to be a 5-star. I just don't think I'll be like constantly thinking about it. Also, Charlie in this book, I said this earlier, but the way these 2 banter and like talk and go off of each other is so interesting to read about. It's crazy. I love his humor. I love how he's like quiet, a little bit quieter, shy. He's like the nicest person. He would give you his shirt. Wait, what is the saying? He would give the shirt off his back for you. Is that the saying? He would give you the shirt off his back, I think is the saying. That's literally Charlie, and he's so pure for this earth. I love him. I'm glad that I finally got around to reading this book. It's been on my TBR for a while, and I just always love Emily Henry's writing. I guess that goes to show that her romances will always be a hit for me, at least so far. The track record is I've loved them all, so that's good. I guess I still like romance in a way because I loved this so much. I just like the romances where it feels real and it's not like insta-lovey. Emily Henry's a win for me. I can finally give you guys an update on this book. I'm 100 pages in. At first, I wasn't really loving it, so I kind of read a little bit and then I put it down for like a day, and now I'm picking it back up and I am enjoying it more. Let me tell you a little bit of what it's about before I get into why I didn't like the beginning, because it won't make sense otherwise. But we're following Bailey and Charlie, which, yes, I'm reading about another male character named Charlie, which is kind of getting me confused in the head. I've never like read books back to back that have the same names, so I don't know how I feel about that. But moving on, Bailey and Charlie meet in an airport. They're both on their way home from Alaska after spending the summer with their divorced parent. And they kind of get off on the wrong foot because Bailey is kind of like a rule follower, type A kind of girl, and Charlie is the opposite. And so he tries to just like get in line with her when they're about to board the plane because he wants to be first, and she's already, of course, first in line. And she's like, no, you need to go to the back of the line, like that's not fair. So they're already off on the wrong foot. And then guess what? They sit next to each other. Their assigned seats are next to each other on this long flight from Alaska to Nebraska, I believe. So of course they're like kind of talking, but all Bailey wants to do is like read her book, and Charlie just like kind of bothers her and like tries to get under her skin and get to know her a little bit. And they kind of bond over the fact that both of their parents are divorced, but at the end of the day they're both like, okay, we never have to see each other again, bye. And Bailey's like, thank goodness. Then between then and the current time they meet, I think 2 other times, like at random intervals, just random occurrences, and then now in the present day they both happen to work at the same place. So now they're kind of becoming friends again, still bonding over the fact that their parents are divorced. Charlie has now decided to help Bailey with like trying to get her mom's new boyfriend like kicked out of the house because she doesn't want him like staying there. And also Bailey has a friend, I don't know how you say her name, Nikisa. So Nikisa has a friend that also works at the same place as all of them. And so the bet is that Nikisa is gonna like break up with her boyfriend and get with the new friend, Theo. And Bailey's like, no, she's gonna stay loyal to her boyfriend, like she doesn't like that guy. And Charlie's like, no, guys and girls can't be friends, like it never works out, like they're gonna get together. So that's the bet. Sorry if that was really confusing, I'm sure it was. But that's where I'm at right now. So I don't know. I'm guessing that's why it's called betting on you, but I really am not sure. But so far there has been a bet, and then like I said, they're becoming more and more friends with the talking of like their divorced parents. So like I said at the beginning, I wasn't a fan of him just because he was very obnoxious and annoying, but I think that was to show like his growth, because now like in the present time he has like grown up and like changed some of his opinions a little bit and like is being a little bit less annoying. So I'm glad I'm sticking it through and still reading it. I think her writing's just so easy to read. It's so like young feeling and like refreshing and just like so cute. So I'm enjoying reading it, and I'll let you know my other thoughts later if I continue to like it or if I don't like it and it goes downhill. I'm like 70%. It's cute, it's lighthearted, it's funny, but at this point I'm like, okay, I'm ready for them to get together and just like resolve whatever there needs to be left to resolve. I know there's gonna be some sort of like third act conflict, like I literally know what it's gonna be, but I don't know if it's gonna be annoying. I'm worried that it's gonna be like a third act breakup and it's gonna be annoying, then they're gonna get back together in like 5 pages. I hope that doesn't happen, but I feel like it might. So far I like the book, I just don't think it's like at the level of better than the movies, because that book I was like getting over, I was obsessed with it, I was reading it all the time. This one I feel like I want to read, I'm never bored, but I just don't feel like, you know, like giddy over it, and I don't know why. I finished Betting on You last night. I'm kind of conflicted on my feelings for this because, like, I feel like I should like it more than I did. Like, it was an easy, quick, entertaining read, but when I sit back and think about it, I'm like, okay. I think there's a few factors, though, into why this wasn't, like, my absolute favorite book. First of all, the guy in this book, Charlie, reminded me so much of Jeremiah. What is it called? Oh my gosh. The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I couldn't get past it. I could not get past it. It kept giving me the ick. Also, the parents in this book were terrible, and I feel like Charlie also, like, made Bailey make decisions and, like, do things that, like, made everyone's situation worse. Like, it didn't make any sense why he was, like, telling her to do these things. And I just feel like he was literally giving her terrible advice, which maybe was the point for them to, like, both grow from it. It felt like Bailey was, like, trying to paint her mom in a good light and be like, no, she's the best mom ever, I love her. But, like, they did not communicate at all. There's no communication between any parents whatsoever until, like, the end. And I still feel like the communication was terrible. So that just bothered me. And I feel like, yeah, Charlie was, like, a bad influence on Bailey. But overall, I just wasn't, like, obsessed with it. I don't care anymore. I'm probably not going to think about it again. But it was a quick, cute read. If you just like cute YA romances, you'd probably like this. It's just, for me, like, I don't think it's my thing anymore. I don't know. Like, romance just isn't for me. And this is, like, earth-shattering, heartbreakingly beautiful. And it makes me, like, feel so many things. And I believe you're in love. I believe your romance. I believe your hardships. I believe your conflicts. Also, this one, again, third act conflict, third act breakup. Just annoying. So I guess that's what to expect when you go into this, so I should have known better. But like I said, her other books have been 5 stars for me. So I think it just depends. I think my taste is changing. So I don't know. It's time that we talk about all the books I read in today's video. I also have my Hopeless Romantic shirt on because I feel like it just encapsulates the vibe of how I'm feeling, because after reading these books, I feel still like I'm a hopeless romantic, if that makes sense. We'll get into it. But I read 3 books, DNF'd 1, and I still feel like with the genre. So let's talk about these books and get into it. The first book I read was a novel love story, as you saw, and to be honest, I feel like this is not a good book to read in a video on where you're trying to decide if you still like romance, because the whole reason I liked this book was in spite of the romance, or really, like, you could have taken the romance out and I still would have, like, liked the book. Honestly, I liked it less because the romance was just thrown in there. I felt unnecessary and I didn't care about the romance at all. But regardless, I still read it for this video, so I'll talk about it briefly. I ended up rating this 3 stars. Like I said, I feel like the romance didn't need to be there. We could have taken it out. It would have been more enjoyable, but I loved the storybook town, the found family in a way. The writing was really good. I liked all the bookish quotes. I was highlighting so much from this book, and I think if you love books, you love reading, and you like sweet little romance towns, you would love this. Then I tried to read Love on the Brain, which truly, I don't think it's the book's fault. Maybe. I don't know. I literally got 1 chapter in and was like, I can't do it. I think it was just me. I was in, like, a weird reading mood, and this just wasn't it for me. It was so much science at the beginning, and I was, like, really confused on what I was even reading, and then I was just lost interest. Like, it didn't hook me. So I really don't feel like I can give, like, an accurate representation of my feelings on this book, because, like I said, I didn't read past chapter 1. If you loved this book, let me know. If I should, like, push through and get to it again or try it again, let me know. But I just don't know if I like Allie Hazelwood either, so maybe it's just a me problem. Then I read Book Lovers, which I really, really enjoyed. This is my favorite book out of all the books that I read in this video. This one felt like I had the most feelings with while reading. Like, I felt a little bit giddy, excited, and just wanted to read it really fast, which was good. I ended up rating this one 4.5 stars. It was very close to a 5-star, but I didn't feel like the super excited 5-star feeling that I usually feel with my 5-star books. Like, I kind of already put this out of my mind, which makes me know it's not a 5-star book. Usually with 5-star books, I'm just, like, replaying the book, replaying scenes in my head all the time. This one, I feel like I had a great time. I feel like a certain connection to these characters, but I feel like I could put it down and, like, not think about it. Out of all the books, this one did make me feel the most, like, connected to the romance genre, made me, like, excited to be reading. So maybe Emily Henry is, like, my go-to romance author now. I don't know. I think I just like the romance books that aren't, like, super cheesy and corny or cringy, and just, like, feel like real people with real conflicts and real, like, conversations and good communication, which is usually Emily Henry in her books. So if you have any recommendations of romance books that are like that, please let me know as well. Then lastly, I read Betting on You, which kind of upset me. As you saw, I was expecting it to be like a 5-star, kicking my feet giddy over a book, but I just wasn't. Again, I feel like a lot of the reasons were it was just a little bit cringy. I didn't like the guy main character. I felt like the parents were terrible, and it just felt cringy to me overall. I landed on a 3.5 star for this book. It was enjoyable. I read through it pretty quickly, but just, I'm never going to think about it again, I don't think. So unfortunately, this one kind of let me down in the romance department. Overall, do I think I still like romance? Yes, but I think I'm very picky on like the romance books that I like. I don't think I can just pick up any romance and just fall in love with it like I used to be able to do. Past me probably would have given like all these books 5 stars because like I was obsessed with romance. That's the only genre I read, but now that I've like reached out and started reading other genres, like I just feel like sometimes these just cheesy romances bore me and just don't make me feel things. I want to be able to like feel things, you know? So maybe I'll try this video again. Let me know if you have any recommendations for a part 2 to this video, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon in my next video.